Alright guys, welcome back for another video of INO, our loved or beloved character INO. We all love him and nobody disrespects him in this game, of course. but so today, you already read the title, it's floor 81. And spoiler, this one was actually pretty easy. I don't understand why it was so well, it was easy because I have more luxury characters now than I did when I initially started. You know, obviously you'll see the team is of like, well, it would have included two of kind of more luxury characters, and now it's only one, right? Because Blue Inamaki is now part of standard pool, which is how I got him. But before then, he was just not in standard pool, so I never got him, and then I never had Geto. But we have them now, and they actually made the team like really efficient, crazy efficient. It's just how the benefits are of having a good support and debuffer, or you know both debuffers. But team we used was, let me find it. This team here, pretty simple team. Something you'll be very surprised to see is something I didn't put on my INO guide, which I will have to update now because of this memory. So this was a memory that I got on Naobito's banner via tickets. I think it was tickets. I didn't summon on Naobito that much. Probably like two multis. So maybe I got this from just doing two multis on the banner. Either way, when I first saw this bit, I knew it was gonna be good for Ino. Specifically because it's while it has lower buffs, it is for multiple turns, and it's physical and curse technique. And if you don't know, having physical slash curse technique buffs is greater than damage dealt buffs, because damage dealt, it kind of adds to the multiplier and doesn't multiply itself. So let's say your character gets 100% damage dealt boost on their ultimate, damage dealt will only add like 50, but like 50% curse technique will multiply that initial 100 by 50, or at least that's what I was told. I don't really know. Personally, it's still a little iffy for me. So if you don't know it, don't feel too bad. Even I don't know it. Should not be the standard though. You should probably learn it. But anyways, so 3 turns, right? You know, benefits for 2 turns because his third turn is always going to be the skill 3 into the Reki. But I think this is kind of the best part about it is that he gives himself 5% buff and 15% damage dealt increase. So a total of 20%. But the big issue, not issue, but the big selling point of this memory is that it fixes Ino's biggest issue, which is recovers 10 curse energy to self. Ino, guys, you'll hear it over and over again. Ino has really bad curse energy management, which is why I said A2 is his sweet spot. That plus 10 curse energy you get on A2 Awakening does make a difference in his gameplay. It makes a significant difference, which is crazy to say because it's just 10 curse energy, right? But this, Ino is consistent getting 10 curse energy himself with this bid for 2 turns, and then obviously the third turn, right? Reki, skill 3, so skill 2, so he doesn't get the benefits of it, but every other turn, right? So skill 2 costs only 10 curse energy, so you do skill 10s or skill 2, and it only costs you 10 curse energy for that turn, right? Because you recover 10, so you get half of it back, which just makes him so much more efficient at curse energy that he's pretty much self-sustainable. Like, it's actually insane how good this memory is for him because of the 10 curse energy. But he also buffs himself with this, right? 20%. Um, well, also it's multiple turns too, so it's like 4 turns, right? So 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20% consistently, because he's always doing at least one attack. 20, and then this is only 2 turns, so at most 30%, I believe, right? So 20 plus 30, 50, 50 plus curse energy to himself. That's 50% damage dealt increase plus, multiplied by this. So I'm not gonna do the math, but it's like 160 maybe, because 50 times 3 is 1, right? Yeah, 150, and then just a 5 at the end is 165. There you go, 165 multiplayer in theory, right? But that adds on top of INO's already self-buffing 20% increase to self if you use skill 1, but most of the time we'll be trying to use skill 2, which is a 30% increase to self, right? So that's another 30%, and that's a lot of math, guys. So that's 80 times 30, 8, 16, like 24 or something like that. That's a lot of math, guys, but it's a big multiplier, right? Just imagine this is consistently stacking with it, and I believe this also gives, yeah, this also gives another 30% here. So you guys can see why, like, it's kind of stacking a lot, right? It's a lot of damage dealt buff to INO because he's a self buffer that that you don't really need a buffer. He kind of just gives himself a lot of buffs. So the memory not only gives him a lot more buffs, but it gives him curse energy, which allows him to cycle back into more buffs, right? Because this skill 2 only gives 30%, while skill 1 only gives 20%, which is a big difference. Well, if I level this up all the way, it'll be 20%, right? Big difference right there. The ult doesn't really, actually gives curse technique increase. Huh, nice. So once again, that multiplies against damage dealt, right? Because curse technique multiplies against damage dealt. So he's doing a lot of damage. He's applying multiple buffs pretty much every turn, and he's self-sustaining himself with curse energy. This 25 costing skill 3 actually becomes laughably easy. Like, you spend maybe 4 turns setting up, and you're pretty much set for the entire 30 turns after that. Before, you had to set up for, like, I don't even want to say 6 or 8 turns. It's pretty rough. It was pretty rough. But this was the team we were using. Double healing bit with a sack character, right? Very common tactic is using a sack. There's no secret floor currently, so there's no need to run a specific character. Just you can run whoever you want. So the strategy here for this floor is we use Geto skill 3 whenever the boss has after boss's ult or before the boss reaches 2/3 ult charge on their ult. This is because the skill 3 buffs, it's a lot of, I'm pretty sure it's just how it multiplies with the Geto, no, the Kamo and the Inumaki debuffs. Because damage taken and then the Kamo and Inu are both curse technique debuffs. So this one multiplies, just gives you more damage. I think I go from maybe 1 mil to 1.6 mil or something like that, like a good day, if you use skill 3. So it is a pretty big, massive jump. Not that this is bad. This is good. But the reason I use skill 2 during like 3 turns before the boss ults is because it debuffs the boss pretty heavily. And it's just more consistent, I think, in that way. So double healing bit will pretty much guarantee you'll never die as long as you do the skill 2. If you choose to be more greedy, I guess, if you do skill 3 like multiple times and you kind of only skill 2 on like the last turn, there's a chance you can die. Like, there's a pretty high chance of it. So in my run, I just chose the safer option. If you guys realize, I'm a pretty safe player overall. I don't really try to mess with RNG too much. Like, I'll put as much RNG as needed, but then I wouldn't like introduce more RNG on top of it to try to min-max if I had to. So I skill 2 3 turns before the boss ult, or 4 turns, because the boss sometimes will, I don't know, sometimes the boss will do some damage on their regular attack. And like I said, The decrease, the curse technique decrease is not even that bad anyways. It's pretty helpful to INO because INO already is doing damage dealt buffs himself, so it's already going to multiply. Yep. So it's really nice. It's really nice to have this, but of course you can always optimize it more by just skipping the one turn that I would debuff. You would just use skill 3 an extra time and do more damage. But nonetheless, it worked out. Combo, pretty generic build here. Don't even have him super high invested on tower or yeah. Pretty low invested overall. I mean, I think you should always try to strive for these first. These are like the best thing ever, right? 5% every time. All your characters have it. It's really nice. Oh my god. And then Blue Inamaki, I just got him. Pretty generic. I never skill 2. I didn't really realize it gives Chris technique decrease for the boss, but the boss is all physical technique, so I wouldn't worry about it. But it's nice. It's nice to have. Yeah. I mean, I have to really explain combo to you guys. I feel like combo is pretty self-explanatory, right? Skill 3 debuff, and then ult, and then skill 2. And then skill 3 debuff, ult, skill 2. Inamaki is the same. Skill 1 to get curse energy at the start. And then skill 3, skill 3, ult, skill 3, ult. Right, like you're just gonna keep using skill 3 and ulting on Inamaki as much as you can. Because there's no reason to not use it. Unless you're out of curse energy, then obviously you'll skill 1, but I usually don't. You probably could do this. This is probably a lot better. The reason I didn't do this, like I had the memories like this, was because my Junpei for some reason could tank a hit. Apparently this memory here is a little too good for him. It's too high leveled, and he could tank like a normal attack. The boss does like 2 different types of attacks. One is just like a regular like kind of like a rock throw, I think, and that one's not too bad. That one does low damage. I don't even think it can stun either. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it can stun. That's why it does so low damage. But pretty much low damage. It doesn't kill him in one hit. This guy's level 2 and it won't kill him. I don't know why he's level 2. I don't know, I was thinking. But and then he has another attack where he slams multiple rocks down. That one will kill. That one will kill even through this memory here. Like, it would just murder him. But there's another attack he does, which is a shoulder check. That one won't kill with the memory. Because it barely can kill Junpei. Because it is 4K. And Junpei has like 3.8k health. So only 200 leeway of health. So that's why I'm not running this memory Doctor's Pride on Inamaki, even though he would benefit it more than Getsu, but you know, that's why I'm not running. You can, if you have a character that's pretty low rarity and low health, like I don't know, if you had no bar here, too bad I have her level 5. And Toto actually is A1, so he has a lot of health. And then this guy's obviously more health than Junpei. So, you know, he's my only option to use, and I need him to die in one attack because that's less RNG, guys. Legit, less RNG. If he dies in one hit, that's pretty good to me. But if you don't care, you can run this. This is way nicer. It lets you skill 3 more often with INO. But I kind of found it was alright because he got stunned enough for me not to really worry about it. But yeah, I mean, that's just a team, guys. And that's the strategy for this floor. Not going to waste any more of your time. We're just going to play the intro and get into the run. It's not going to be any voiceover. It's going to be slightly sped up. Pretty simple.
可愛い後輩もできたことだし、ここいらで活躍してぼちぼち俺も一級術師になっちゃうぞ。砂間よ。以降追いつき。本番だ。さて、やってやる。これも時代やってやる。事実に即し、己を律する。立っていられるかな。いけ。いくら？筋か。
これも時代当時
やってやる。立っていられるかな。
筋子これで決める何払い
ヒュッドラヒュッドラ鮭やってやる。避けきれるか。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ何払い
ヒュッドラヒュッドラシャッベストを尽くす。事実に即し己を律する。避けきれるか。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ何払い
来訪随従開始。
こちらは準備完了。
よし。まずは質より量。
終わりにするぞ何払い
来訪随従一番開始。来訪随従開始。さてシャッ
こちらは準備完了だ。
よし。避けきれるか。砕けろ。
連結
始めるぜ。とどめだ。
行こう
了解。来訪随従開始。鮭鮭やってやる。事実に即し己を律する。砕けて来訪随従開始。今度ベストを尽くす。砕けろ。来訪随従開始。来訪随従開始。ベストを尽くす。まずは質より量。来訪随従開始。来訪随従開始。動く勘弁。
出方を伺うか。
よし。
責任躍動
事実に即し己を律する。避けきれるか。砕けろ。来訪随従開始。シャッ
出方を伺う
よし。避けきれるか。砕けろ。
これで決める何払い
来訪随従開始。来訪随従開始。無謀ではシャッ
これも時代当時に務めた。
食らい尽くす。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ何払い
来訪随従一番開始。始めるぜ。とどめだ。動き
これも時代当時に務めた。
2番霊気。餌の時間だ。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ何払い
来訪随従開始。
こちらは準備完了。
やってやる。砕けて
連結
明太子
後期
畳みかけよう。来訪随従開始。来訪随従開始。隙だらけだよ。鮭
出方を伺うか。
やってやる。呪霊操術極の番渦巻き。砕けろ。
これで決める何払い
来訪随従開始。来訪随従開始。隙だら昆布。
これも時代当時の務めさ。
よし。
さあ本番だ。
2番霊気。まずは質より量。筋子始めるぜ。とどめだ。さて 鮭
出方を
やってやる。
まずは質より量終わりにするぞ割り払い
ヒュッドラヒュッドラさてベストを尽くす。
まずは質より量
ヒュッドラヒュッドラ
これも時代投手の務めさ
2番霊気避けきれるか。砕けろ。
これで決める割り払い
来訪随従2回。さて
これも時代投手の務めさ
食らい尽くせ。
終わりにするぞ割り払い
来訪随従1番回。来訪随従2回。さて
こちらは準備完了だ
おし食らい尽くせ。
電気
始めるぜ。とどめだ。
行こうか
了解。来訪随従2回。無謀で鮭
これも時代投手の務めさ
やってやる。2番霊気
まずは質より量
砕け
終わりにするぞ割り払い
来訪随従2回。無謀では勘弁。やってやる。避けきれるか。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ割り払い
来訪随従2回。来訪随従2回。無謀鮭
これも時代投手の務めさ責任躍動
避けきれるか。砕けろ。来訪随従2回。来訪随従2回。無謀で釈放ベストを尽くす。2番霊気
餌の時間だ
砕けろ。来訪随従2回。無謀釈放とおし食らい尽くす。砕けろ。来訪随従2回。来訪随従2回。無謀で勘
出方を
おし食らい尽くす。砕けろ。
終わりにするぞ割り払い
来訪随従1番回。来訪随従2回。無謀では相手にならない。鮭鮭
出方を
おし
行うか
事実に即し己を律する。食らい尽くせ。砕けて始めるぜ。とどめだ。畳みかけよう。全体が了解。一丁上がり。